We advise our youth from both the Kutebs and the Fulanis to obey these constituted authorities and their leaders so that peace will return.
At last, warring tribes of Kuteb and Fulani fly the flag of peace in Taraba State.
This fellowship will help you learn skills, build capacity, and competence to participate effectively in Nigeria's politics and government.
Speaker Gbajabiamila speaks to the youth on choices, development, mentorship, and followership.
And also, every access to power must be made through free, fair, and transparent elections.
Eye on Ouagadougou, Burkina Faso. So far, so tense. Nigeria and ECOWAS not smiling. Hello and thanks for joining us in the Network News. I am Elizabeth Omori. Hingano John Adams joins us from Lagos, while Kemi Akinwande will join us in the course of the bulletin from Ibadan. You can start following this newscast live on our website nta.ng/live, as well as other social media platforms on the screen. The Speaker, House of Representatives, Femi Gbajabiamila, says the capacity and competence of political leaders to a large extent guarantee the progress, prosperity, peace and security of nations. He stated this at the opening of a legislative mentorship program he initiated. National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports.
Gathered here are young Nigerians from across the 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory. They are beneficiaries of the legislative mentorship program tailored to inculcate in them the fundamentals of nation building through development of ideologies and policy strategy as the next generation of leaders.
This fellowship will help you learn skills, build capacity, and competence to participate effectively in Nigeria's politics and government and contribute to our growth, progress, and prosperity. Ability and competence are not enough to lift a nation and elevate a people. You need vision and you need character.
Guests as the events give their perspectives.
Inspire young Nigerians, men and women to the fundamentals of legislative practice and procedure. The have been in government process are still a main zero for public service, especially the legislature.
Cultural, financial, and political barriers remain. I hope the Honourable Speaker's initiative will go some way to help to remove these barriers, and that your energy and activism at this critical point in this country's history will make a difference.
The legislative mentorship program is the first in the series.
I hope to be better equipped by the end of this fellowship program, seeing that the aim of this fellowship program is to train and equip the next generation of public sector leaders.
I'm willing to learn the legislative metrics to understand policy making and the processes of policy making.
Youth leadership and the future of democracy, harnessing the power of young people in Nigeria, is the theme. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The federal government has advised the Academic Staff Union of Universities ASU to cease taking laws into its hands by directing its members to continue with the 8th-month-old strike in defiance of the interlocutory injunction by the National Industrial Court, which restrained the union from further action. In a statement, the Minister of Labour and Employment, Chris Ngige, says a new directive by ASU urging its members to continue with the action is unwarranted, and the federal government strongly frowns at this. India accused the leadership of the union of misinforming and misleading its members and warned of consequences of contempt of court order. It said the union is dishonest and misleading its members and the general public, that it has filed an appeal as well as a stay of execution of the order of the National Industrial Court on September 21, 2022. Rather, ASU only filed an application for permission to appeal the order. It also attached to the application a proposed notice of appeal, which it intends to file if the leave to appeal is granted. The application for a stay of execution as of this moment has not been listed for hearing. A Not less than 13,451,466 pills of tramadol worth 8,860,000,000 naira in street value have been recovered by operatives of the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency. The pharmaceutical substance was recovered from one of the mansions of a suspected drug baron, Ugochukwu Chukwuka Dibia, in Victoria Garden City, Lekki area of Lagos State. His arrest is coming barely 2 months after the agency uncovered a methamphetamine clandestine laboratory in the residence of another drug kingpin in the states. To regional governments, ECOWAS Parliament at a seminar in Lome is advocating any mechanisms to forestall likely interruptions of democratic processes and constitutional order as Nigeria, Sierra Leone and Liberia prepare for national elections.
Recurrent breach of constitutional order through military coup is regaining currency in the West African sub-region. This trend is gathering momentum amidst the COVID crisis, climate change, conflict, and dwindling economic fortunes in the region. At our seminar with the theme, Application of the Power of the Parliament in light of the restructuring of the ECOWAS Commission in Lome, the capital city of Togo, members of the ECOWAS Parliament want countries to domesticate parliamentary decisions to promote regional growth and security.
But in the case of the Parliament, the ECOWAS Parliament, resolutions have not been in any way presented before the National Assembly in any form. If you pass resolutions and you just communicate to member state and there's no enforcing mechanism in place, I think there's something that is missing. The power that we have with us, have we used those powers judiciously? Direct elections are relevant, they're important. Managing our own budget is important, it's relevant. But let us use the powers we have for now, then it will be easier for us to ask for more. We talk about peace and security, talking about economic growth, talking about the rest of the things that improve the life of the ordinary people. So I think our coordination will bring much more desired result to the sub-region.
They see the upcoming democratic transition in some member states as opportunity to promote accountability in governance.
And also that every access to power must be made to bring fair and transparent elections. In so doing, we are hopeful that all mechanisms will be worked out to allow the people to freely express their will through their votes and their voices to be heard through a free press.
The seminar is expected to move Parliament to seek greater competence to play its full role in the discharge of political and diplomatic duties. All NTA Fine Face, NTA News.
Leveraging deep seabed resources for economic development will be the focus of an international conference to be hosted in Abuja. Focal agencies like the National Boundary Commission and NIMASA will be projecting Nigeria's perspective at the conference. Kelvin Erenwaye reports.
Maximizing the blue economic potential of African countries as active members of the International Seabed Authority, where Nigeria has a permanent representative, is what representatives from 8 African countries and international marine science and environmentalists will be discussing between October 5th and 7th, 2022 in Abuja. At a press briefing to announce modalities for the conference, Secretary General of the International Seabed Authority, Michael Lodge, said it's an opportunity to explore another rich resource base for the continent.
It is aimed at supporting African countries to better understand what resources they have in the deep ocean, whether it's in their own jurisdiction on the continental shelf or even beyond that in the international area.
The ISA and in partnership with the Norwegian government are giving us this opportunity to create awareness and to let Nigerians understand what the international seabed is all about.
Africa currently has 54 countries as members of the global intergovernmental body. In Abuja, Kelvin Erenwaye, NTA News.
bit on social responsibility. Along with its non-kinetic operations, the Nigerian Army has constructed and donated a motorized borehole to Winze community of Akwanga local government area, Nasarawa State, to increase access to potable water supply. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa has details.
It's a dream come true for the people of Winze in Akwanga West Development Area of Nasarawa State. A solar-powered industrial water borehole equipped with 20 kVA generator provided by the Nigerian Army is to increase access to water supply and improve sanitation.
We've been longing to have this, and thank God today we have this drinking water, potable drinking water for our community.
Kudos to them, we appreciate them, and greater heights for them. Yes, we are enjoying what they are doing.
The gesture is meant to foster civil-military relations in the community that lacks access to some social amenities.
This community, through the leadership of Akwanga West Development Area, sought for assistance from the Nigerian Army for the provisions of potable water.
This way for cordial relationship necessitated with immediate response to the request by the committee to realize the dreams of the conception and completion of this water project as part of corporate social responsibility in communities where we conduct military operations like natural state.
The project is aimed at boosting confidence of host community in relation to army operations in the areas. From Akwanga in Nasarawa State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Let's shift attention to border talks. The renewed synergy among Katsina Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service, other security operatives and border communities has led to increase in revenue generation and suppression of smuggling activities within the axis. Show Adamu reports that the command has within the last 1 month witnessed an increase of over 25 million naira in revenue generation.
The axis of Libya International Border being one of the major gateway to Republic of Niger from Nigeria is before now witnessing security challenges leading to no level of import and export along the corridor. However, with the collaborative strategies put in place along the route, coupled with the cooperation of the border community, Katsina Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service recorded an export of over 20,000 tons from 15th of August to date, against the over 10,000 tons of export recorded the previous month.
Under review, we have a total of 124,896,718.27 kobo. Collected with this week was a significant increase of 25,119,375 naira 25 kobo.
While commending other security operatives and border community for their support and understanding in intelligence gathering, Controller El-Hawada Chedi also explained that 15 vehicles were intercepted as either being smuggled into the country or served as means of conveying the contraband. In Katsina, Shehu Adamu, NTA News.
You're watching the Network News on NTA. Time to take a break. More reports ahead. To stay with us. Thanks for staying with the NTA. Argungu in Kebbi State is known globally for hosting one of the biggest fishing festivals. But last Saturday, it played host to a political rally as members of the People's Democratic Party in Kebbi North Senatorial District and beyond staged a 1 million march in support of a former Senate Majority Leader, Dr. Yahya Abdullahi Abubakar. Abubakar was at the rally and now reports.
The family of PDP in Kebbi North Senatorial District, with representation from Argungu, Augi, Ariwa, Dandi, Bagudo and so local government areas, converged on the ancient town to show their support and solidarity with Senator Dr. Yahya Abdullahi, whom they described as a worthy son that has brought so much fortunes to the constituency and the state at large, too numerous to be mentioned. Addressing the mammoth crowd at the Argungu West Coast, the Kebbi State PDP gubernatorial candidate General Aminu Bandi and the Kebbi Central senatorial candidate Senator Adamu Aleru applauded party members for their support to the progress of the party and urged them to work harder for the success of the party come 2023.
I joined politics to better the lives of the citizens by ensuring the provision of the basic social amenities across the state, and that we shall do, inshallah. People trooped out en masse to welcome us in all the areas we visited, which is a clear sign that the people of the state are with us, and we will never let them down.
The man in whose honor the event was hosted and Senator representing Kebbi North, Dr. Yahya Abdullahi, expressed gratitude to Allah for the support shown to him by the people of the state, promising never to let them down so long as he is given the opportunity to serve.
We promise you that we will never be involved in any association that will not be the best for the state. My dear people, our track record speaks for us.
The Senator promised to continue with the good work of upgrading the living standard of his people, admonishing all party members to remain law-abiding and respect constituted authorities. Prominent PDP members in the state were in attendance at the event. Abubakar, NTA News.
Still from Kebbi, the state governor Abubakar Atiku Bagudu has lauded President Muhammadu Buhari's non-interference with election and judicial processes in the country, adding that such a position has strengthened the political transformation of Nigeria as a rising democracy. The governor stated this in Birnin Kebbi while interacting with newsmen. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports.
Within the 70 years, Bagudu noted there was never a known case of the president meddling on issues to do with judiciary or the nation's election umpire, INEC, a development that must be hailed by all lovers of rule of law, considered the engine room of any democracy. Atiku was particular on the equal treatment of all parts of the country, irrespective of differences.
We have to appreciate what President Buhari has been doing, consistent with the resources available to him, and he has done well. A lot of things were not even being explained or told or kept in public imagination. And then you have a president who is sincere, who is transparent, who is hiding nothing. And then the gravity of this situation came out, and he has been battling to deal with these challenges.
Governor Bagudu expressed optimism that Nigeria's democracy is greatly progressing from 1999 to date, adding that increasing confidence on the system by Nigerians is a pointer to that fact. On security matters, Governor Bagudu harped on local policing, expressing readiness to support anything that will enhance security of lives and property in the country. The Kebbi State Governor said Nigerians have every reason to celebrate the 62nd anniversary, as much have been achieved in every respect. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
And from Kebbi, we now take you to Jalingo, where the Kuteb ethnic group and Fulani headsmen in Taraba South have resolved to embrace peace and tolerance for the development and prosperity of the state. Adamu Haruna Adams reports that stakeholders from the two warring parties arrived at the decision to cease fire during a peace-building meeting, which culminated in signing of a peace accord by the representatives in Takum.
This building meeting was at the instance of Kuteb Fulani Peace Committee, which has been preoccupied with providing lasting solution to the prolonged crisis between Kutebs and Fulani herders in Takum and Usa local government areas of Taraba State. The committee, which is an initiative of the warring parties, though with approval and support of the Taraba State government, summoned the stakeholder meeting to present its reports and recommendations for resolving the lingering crisis.
Acting on fake news or unconfirmed information by third parties. 16. Prolong detention of the Fulani leader by the Nigerian army on local charge of criminals that of the duty of police without due investigation.
They also promised to ensure that their people lay down their arms and embrace peace and harmonious coexistence.
Both Kuteb and Fulani have lost a lot of property and human lives. We will continue, we are teaching ourselves, and we advise our youth from both the Kutebs and the Fulanis to obey these constituted authorities and their leaders so that peace will return.
I sincerely believe that this
is going to end the crisis. As we have agreed, we will work on it so that the land will return its normal self.
Chairman Taraba State Chapter Mieti Allah Kautal Hori Alhaji Bami Njani, representatives of security agencies, religious leaders and traditional rulers, among others. Highlight of the meeting was signing a peace accord by representatives of Kutebs and those of the Fulanis. The meeting unanimously resolved that members of the warring communities should move freely and interact with one another without fear of being killed or molested. Some communities were visited after the meeting to demonstrate that peace and broken relationships have been restored. In Jalingo, Adamu Haruna Adams, NTA News.
And from Jalingo, we now move to Lagos, where Hengino is standing by with some reports for us. Hello, Hengino.
Hello, Lizzie. It's good to see you. Are you aware that drinking before or while driving accounts for a sizable percentage of road traffic crashes in Nigeria? This is why the Federal Road Safety Corps has intensified its annual nationwide campaign tagged Don't Drink and Drive. Ronnie Daniels reports that the Corps' Education Officer, Assistant Corps Marshal BC Kazim, led other members of the Corps in Lagos to a motor park for the campaign.
Motor parks like this one in the Ojodu area of Lagos are seen across the state. Business thrives. The reason why a large percentage of the motorists here are commercial bus drivers. Regrettably, however, most of them are alleged to be engaged in unwholesome acts, including taking alcoholic beverages before or while conveying passengers to their destinations. While some arrive safely, others do not.
The first rule is to drink responsibly, whether one is going to drive or not. Because when one doesn't drink responsibly, he's going to lose his senses.
This is why the Federal Safety Corps has continued its campaign to Lagos motor parks.
There's an edict or a law at various local governments to ban sales of alcohol in motor parks. Some things have already done that, but going forward, we will still continue to campaign towards making sure that alcoholic beverages are not sold in motor parks, so that you don't even have access to it.
The Corps believes that awareness campaigns like this one can bring attitudinal change among commercial drivers.
When you see children selling drinks or items, it's more of child abuse. Because by virtue of Nigeria's standard, such child is expected to still be in school. So it's an aberration, it's not acceptable. And I know that local government and states have been working assiduously to make sure that such thing is eradicated from our motor parks and system.
There was a practical demonstration of breathalyzer to detect motorists who may have shaken alcohol before driving.
This is the way government do that, now for our own life, maybe for them. So good as they do this kind of thing, then they tell us who drink, no drive, who they drive, no drink.
The campaign is being replicated in other parts of the country. In Lagos, Annie Daniels, NTA.
We must put aside our differences to build a nation where peace and love triumph in order to continuously experience the abundance of God's grace upon Nigeria. This was the message of the pastor, Household of God Church, Chris Okotie, during the first Sunday service in the month of October to celebrate Nigeria's 62nd independence anniversary in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
Like the triumphant entry of Jesus Christ into Jerusalem, members of the Household of God Church made their way into the special service, gorgeously dressed to reflect the celebration of independence with touch of green and white. The service began with high praise and appreciation for God, the gift of life, and his unending blessings to members of the church and Nigeria as a whole. Shepherd over the assembly, Pastor Chris Okotie, led the congregation to invite the presence of the Holy Spirit through the worship songs. Taking his text from Acts chapter 7 verse 31 to 40, Pastor Chris centered the message of the day on the power of the Word of God. He pointed out that what Nigeria becomes in our journey is predicated on what God says.
It's all about words. And that's what we is. Because the
while making reference to a place in the Bible where God instructed Abraham to locate the new place he will show him, the man of God urged those in various positions of authority to approach things differently.
If we desire to break the monotony of the vicious circle of recycled leadership, then the only way forward is that which stands conspicuously before us.
As part of the tradition in celebrating Nigeria's birth to a sovereign state, the anniversary cake designed with the inscription Nigeria at 62 was cut. A drama emphasizing the need for Nigerians to live as one indivisible entity was also staged. In Lagos, Abolabi Salami, NTA News.
Time for another break, but before then, do not forget to follow this news broadcast live on our website at nta.ng/live and on our other social media handles displayed on your screen for updates.
You're still watching the Network News. NNPC Limited has recommitted to working with host communities towards improving their quality of life, creating businesses and employment opportunities, as well as capacity development. Milikiari, in his message through the Group General Manager of NAPIMS, says the NNPC Limited will mend relationships with host communities by building trust and upholding commitments towards win-win operations. Lydia Sampson reports.
The Trans-Niger pipeline, a major pipeline capable of transporting about 180,000 barrels of crude oil per day, has been moribund since mid-June due to oil theft that resulted in oil spills. The crude oil spill in the Bodo community was detected following the phase restart of the Trans-Niger pipeline after months of inactivity owing to persistent crude oil theft along the pipeline corridor. This resulted in a drastic decrease in terminal receipt at the Bonny Oil and Gas Terminal. Ironically, the community had denied the mobilized contractors access to the leak site, citing mistrust stemming from the resolution of previous crude oil spills in the community. Following series of discussions and mediations, the standstill at the Bodo community had successfully been resolved.
There's going to be a pleasant surprise. There's going to be a new life. There's going to be a new vita of trust. A new vita of partnership. We will strengthen Bodo, as well as every other community where anybody operates. And we will provide opportunity for people to be involved. We provide opportunity for people to be educated.
The resolution of the impasse is a massive relief for the nation and indigents of the community directly suffering from the effects of environmental pollution. The warm welcome and hospitality by the community was led by Chairman Gokana Local Government, Confidence Deku, member representing Gokana constituency in the Rivers State House of Assembly, Dundee Mal, and traditional leaders, Nene Mike Tekeru, among others. The community leaders, representatives of women and youth groups, committed to working with the federal government and NNPC Limited to ensure contractors successfully climb the faulty section of the Trans-Niger pipeline crossing the Bodo community in the shortest possible time. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
It's time to talk business, and our businessman Musa Abubakar will be our guide. Over to you, Musa.
Thank you, Elizabeth. The African Sub-Saharan Governments Network Conference has unanimously called on African sub-nationals to play their full role in facilitating the implementation of the African Continental Free Trade Area, AFCFTA. Professor Benedict Orama, President and Chairman of the Board of Directors of Afrexim Bank, emphasized the leading role that sub-Saharan governments are expected to play through the African Sub-Saharan Governments Network. He reiterated Afrexim Bank's commitment to the success of the AFCFTA, highlighting the sub-national funds as well as the numerous programs, projects and initiatives that the bank is making available to facilitate the implementation of AFCFTA, and stating that the bank will support African sovereign governments network. Energy oil prices jumped by more than $3 on Monday as OPEC Plus considers reducing output by more than 1 million barrels per day to buttress prices with what will be its biggest cut since the start of the COVID-19 pandemic. CNBC reports that Brent crude futures added 4% to trade at $89.53 per barrel. U.S. West Texas Intermediate crude was 4.8% higher at $83.26 per barrel. And that's a quick look at business. Elizabeth, is back to you.
Thank you, Musa, for the updates. Rising cases of unavailability of potable water in rural communities in Edo State is being tackled vigorously in view of the collaboration between Benin-Owena River Basin Authority and Edo State government. This is owing to the giant strides recorded by these establishments in terms of providing access to potable water for domestic and agricultural needs. Agatha Egwai Ojo reports.
The basic needs of every human is having access to potable water that will serve both for domestic, industrial and agricultural uses. For some rural communities in Edo State, access to potable water supply was completely lacking until the federal government, through the Benin-Owena River Basin Development Authority and the United Nations Development Programme (UNDP), developed a synergy with Edo State government, with the communities taking ownership of these water projects.
We started enjoying water in this community started from 2017 to this time.
Because the community is so big that they cannot be operated in one day. Like today is for one side, then tomorrow they will open for the other side.
The federal government, through the Basin Authority, continues to lead the way by providing access to urban potable water supply and construction of earth dams.
The Benin-Owena River Basin Development Authority has the responsibility, to harness all the water potentials, in this catchment area, which is bounded by the two major rivers, Benin and Owena rivers, as well as to promote rural integrated development, across the various communities in the 4 states.
Every water scheme that we've constructed will ensure that the community is brought together and we form a water user association. That their responsibility is to see that this scheme works.
For the Commissioner of Water Resources in Edo State, remarkable changes have taken place in the state as a result of federal government's intervention in water schemes, which is not also different from what the state government is doing in areas such as Uromi and other surrounding communities where reticulation projects have been concluded.
The WASCOM, this committee set up by within the community themselves, they collect mega payments from those who are getting in, which is kept by themselves. The government have no hand, have no business with it. The purpose of that is that if there's a little breakdown here and there, rather than running to government, they have an account to go up.
Essentially, government concern now is to meet the mandate of providing access to drinkable water, irrigation purposes, and other related needs that takes water. Agatha Egwari Ojo, NTA News.
And it's time to head to Ibadan, where Kemi is standing by with the next set of reports. Nice to see you, Kemi.
Nice to see you too, Elizabeth, and welcome to Ibadan. Good Road Network remains a major developmental indices for which the present administration has been scored high. As Nigeria marks 62 years of independence, the ongoing reconstruction of Lagos-Ibadan Road is a milestone achievement. Correspondent Shola Wahid reports that the project is said to be 85% completed.
Commuters flying Lagos-Ibadan Expressway will soon use sight of renewal as the road project is expected to be completed before 2022 Christmas celebration. The 126.7-kilometer long road is one of the busiest interstate routes that links the north, south and eastern part of Nigeria.
The whole of Nigeria roads can be like this. much problem about traveling.
Beside what I'm doing is better than before. Lately, the road has been more smooth unlike before. Like the journey from Lagos to Ibadan has been more smooth.
We are very, very happy because it's a very, very good work.
Since the inception of the present administration, the road has witnessed gradual progress of construction work. Controller Federal Minister of Works in Oyo State, Kayode Ibrahim, explained that the commitment of the federal government to the completion of the road project is commendable and appreciative.
Our goal is to finish that job before the end of this year. And if not for the massive rain that we have this year, this job will have gone more than we have right now. And because of the commitment of government to finishing the project, the work is ongoing, and we are hopeful that at the end of this year the job will be done.
Road users are, however, advised to drive carefully at construction sites while adhering to speed limits when traveling on the smooth portions. In Ibadan, Wahid, NTA News.
And as the flood continues to ravage parts of Kwara State, agriculturists, especially fish farmers in the Ilorin metropolis, are counting their losses as the flood carted away their means of livelihood. Olajide Bello reports that aside from houses submerged by water, infrastructure are also giving way.
In spite of the high unemployment rate in the country, rendering many graduates jobless, these set of individuals decided to take the bull by the horn and ventured into agriculture to put food on their tables and that of thousands of Nigerians. Little did they know they would wake up one day and all their investments, worth millions of naira with capital sourced from bank loans, would just go down the drains.
In fact, I don't know what to do because even I collect some loan from bank. I don't even know how to pay the loan now. So, we
just depend on this farm very well, seriously, and we are using loan to run everything. So, can you see, it has already spoiled.
And there's nothing anybody can do. It's not something that we can do on our own. So we want the assistance of the government.
What will be the fate of the likes of Izechuku who have lost all their investment? Well, that's a story for another day. Meanwhile, a portion of the bridge linking residents of Estate Junction and Harmony via Akrebiata has caved in, though in the early hours of 30th of September, some residents took the initiative to provide a partial barricade on the bridge, and they are calling for urgent government attention. As at the time of filing this report, the state government has directed the bridge be closed until repairs commence to make it safe for use. Olajide Bello, NTA News.
That does it from here. Elizabeth, it's back to you.
Next is Sports Update with Clement Olontoba.
Nigeria at 62 Independence Tournament at the IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja allow golfers in the country and their foreign counterparts intensify the call for all to embrace a sport capable of improving the economy. Over 400 golfers competed in the 18-hole event where Babajide Ashegu emerged overall winner.
Formerly, they used to believe golf was more for the older people, but that's not true. You know, we have a lot of younger people playing, and right now we have so many ladies playing golf, and not just playing golf, they're playing so well.
So we have so many people that play with us today, celebrating Nigerian at 62. And there is no better occasion to display our unity and our capacity to remain united despite our diversities.
Meanwhile, the Confederation of African Football, CAF, has reopened bids for the 2025 African Nations Cup. The African Football Governing Body stripped Guinea of the hosting right because of the country could not guarantee CAF of its readiness. In view of this, CAF executives are already bringing its searchlight to other countries who are ready to host the biennial competition, including Nigeria. Still on football, FIFA President Gianni Infantino leads the tribute as World Football unites after Indonesian authorities confirmed that at least 125 people died following a pitch invasion and stampede. About 180 people were also hurt after Arema FC's loss to rivals Persebaya Surabaya in East Java. The crush took place after police tear-gassed fans who invaded the pitch. With sport updates, Clement Olontoba, NTA News.
In Sports Update with Clement Olontoba, NTA News. Thank you so much for your time. Do remember to always take action against rape and rapists. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Be your brother's keeper.